Hey guys, it's Neha. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a video on movies I can watch again and again and again. Basically, I can rewatch them a lot of times, and this is not a complete list of movies that I just, binge on. Obviously, there are a lot of commercial movies that I'm very guilty of watching, and these are not some very not movies that would come under art cinema. But this is somewhere in the middle. They're commercial films, but I think they're really well made and they have a great story. So yeah, that's it. Let's start. So the first movie is The Imitation Game, which is based on Alan Turing's life, who was a very great mathematician, and the movie is based on the Second World War, where he and his team built a machine called the Enigma, which helped England decrypt the messages that the Germans were sending, and eventually it basically helped England win the war, the Second World War, and that machine that he made is basically the prototype for today's computer. So I find this movie really interesting. I love the whole relationships, machines, everything. It's a war movie, but so much more, and it's probably one of the first movies that changed something within me, because it also deals with homosexuality, and it made me tear up a little bit towards the end, because the movie really made me realize what people have to go through just because some people have some beliefs against them, and how these to me illogical beliefs can cost us very great men. So I think it's a great movie. I think people should watch it at least once. It has some great acting, dialogues. I think it even won an Academy Award for something, but it's great. It's a good movie. The next movie is The Dead Poets Society. I actually watched this movie when I was in school, but I don't think so I understood it that well when I was in school, but I've watched it again over time and I really like it. It's that kind of movie that people watch 30 years later and it still stirs something inside them. So basically the movie is about a group of boys in a boarding school, which is a very strict place with strict teachers, lots of rules and norms, and they have a very fixed mindset. And then there's this new English teacher called John Keaton who comes in and basically encourages them to live freely, break the norms, and just follow their passions and live. Also, the movie has some great quotes. I'm a sucker for quotes. It's just that those kind of dialogues which are just really nice to hear, but at the same time they have something real. They are talking about something very real. I think it won a Best Screenplay Award, Academy Award for Best Screenplay, and a BAFTA Award for Best Film, amongst others, I'm pretty sure. But these are what I know. It's that, I think the theme of it is quite common, where it's just telling you to live freely, follow your passion, don't conform to the norms of society and all of that. There are a lot of movies that talk about the same thing, like Tamasha or whatever. But this movie is just does it really well with some great acting, dialogues and direction, cinematography. So it's that kind of movie that people remember after very long as well. Next movie is Pride and Prejudice. I am obsessed with Pride and Prejudice. I love reading the book. I love Jane Austen's writing, and I basically love the story because I love... Sorry for the construction noise, I can't really do anything about that. But basically I love reading interpretations, analysis, criticism, everything that is related with Pride and Prejudice, because I think it's such an interesting story, plot, everything, because some people think it's a very conservative book because it has a happy ending and everything is sorted, but at the same time some people think it's a very radical book with radical ideas because it's based in Regency England in the 1800s, where women really didn't have that many rights for themselves, and for somebody to stand up for themselves, for a woman to stand up for themselves and say that put her own happiness in front of money or her economic situation was a very big deal. And I think that's why the book is very radical. Obviously it's very debatable, and I love reading all the debates as well. So in case, I'm pretty sure there are some people who probably don't have the interest to read the whole book, because obviously it's not in the common English that we read in, but it's still a very great book. But in case you don't like it, the movie does a very good job of at least conveying the story, because there are those kind of movies that don't do justice to the book at all. This is not one of them. It at least conveys the story, and it's not that bad. So I love watching Pride and Prejudice, and I think at least you should give it a try. And in case you have already watched the movie or read the book, please comment in the comment section below. We can be best friends. yeah. The next movie is Invictus, which is based in South Africa during the time when Nelson Mandela was the president of South Africa, and South Africa was hosting the World Cup, the Rugby World Cup in 1995. And here Nelson Mandela noticed that there was a big racial divide and discrimination between the people of Africa, and basically to unite them, he encouraged this bonding or unity through rugby. And so it's like a really good mix of a lot of layers. There are a lot of layers in the movie on like racism and like unity and how of Nelson Mandela, and then also there's this aspect, the whole sports aspect of the movie, where you also at the same time are rooting for this team. So I think it's a great movie. So that's it for today, guys. Those are some of the movies. Obviously they are not all the movies that I love and watch again and again. These are just, I think they don't really come under, they are commercial films, but they don't totally come under the art cinema type. They're probably not movies that they'd show in any film school. But again, they're still good movies with great message, with great themes, and good stories and acting. And they're like somewhere in the middle of those two categories. Even though they're commercial, they still have all those things. Let me know what are some of the all-time favorite movies. I don't know what to call this, but let me know in the comment section below, and please check out all my other videos. They'll be coming up on the screen right now, and I'll see you next time. Meanwhile, do all the other things like, share and subscribe.